Your exclusive chance to win 2 VIP hospitality tickets to Arsenal versus Chelsea worth over £1,500 is finally here.
AFTV is teaming up with Raffle, the marketplace for luxury raffles, to give one lucky winner these tickets.
We're talking free food, drinks, great seats, and a day at the Emirates that you'll never forget.
And with only 250 tickets available, your chances of winning are seriously high. Plus, guys, a percentage of every ticket sold goes to a charity to help fight childhood cancer.
It's completely transparent and the checkout is easy. It takes less than 1 minute and you can even use Apple Pay.
So hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to enter a raffle with Raffle.
The competition is UK only and the winner will be announced live on YouTube and Instagram, so grab your tickets right now.
Good luck!
Yo, people. How's it going? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Hit the like button. Make sure you do that first and foremost. We're out here. I'm not in the Netherlands unless it's the usual set. I haven't upped and moved over to Amsterdam yet. But, you know, who knows in the future? But we move. I'm waiting for the lads over in the Netherlands. I don't know where they're staying, but obviously they're over there for the PSV game. Probably in Dam, as most people do. But yeah, like I said, hit the like button. Andrea Berta, yes, we will talk about him. Romano has leaked or told or whatever you call it in the node that Andrea Berta seems to be the closest candidate at this moment in time. And with the position, I think, due to be filled in March, right? If I'm not mistaken, we're in March. So expect that to pick up some pace in the upcoming weeks. And so it should, when you consider how big the transfer window needs to be this summer. So it should. Don't get twisted. Don't put everything on the new sporting director that comes in. There's a lot more to it. If we have another summer that, you know, we shouldn't excuse, cannot excuse again, then that doesn't all fall on this new guy. Because I know how easy it is to, you know, I've seen it with Raul Sanlei, Sven Mislintat, and even more recently with Edu. You know, a lot of people wanted to just blame one man when really we know that if this is as well-oiled a machine as we're led to believe it has been over the course of the process and all of that, then there's a lot of entities at work. And big up All or Nothing. That showed a little behind the scenes into how many people have a say and whose say matters more than most. But yeah. Oh, they're here. Let me bring them in. There we go. Let me bring them in.
There we go.
Yes. What are you man saying?
Yeah, we're here, man. We're over here in Amsterdam. Yeah, by the way, right, these guys are just taking the mick out of you, right? Lee's here and Julian, and they're just going, "Oh, this guy's so doom and gloom." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you know these man though. I don't know, even you maybe give it 3-4 sleeps, yeah, and these men are rejuvenated again. They're probably thinking Champions League's on the horizon. Tell them to relax. Yes. I'll see them on Thursday for Invincible Pod, and they'll just be like,
I hear you.
No, but yeah, we're over here. We're actually in Amsterdam at the moment. You were spot on. We're in Amsterdam. We're going to go down to Eindhoven tomorrow, but we're in Amsterdam, just soaking it up, getting ready for the game tomorrow. Looking forward to it now. Now that we're over here, we're looking forward to it.
Were you
we don't
soaking
know
up?
what to expect, but we're looking forward to it.
Were you soaking up over there? Like, I know what time is it over there? It's about 8-9 p.m., right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're an hour ahead of you, so it's 9 o'clock. Just soaking up the general vibes,
there was some sun today.
Oh, sun! No, Amsterdam's known for many things. So I thought maybe you know, I don't know what you're soaking up. So
Hey, the night's young.
The night's young. Say no more. Say no. Most good places close at 10, though. I'll tell you that.
So no, don't worry, we'll be seeing them. But yeah, no, it's funny because I did the preview of the boys, and I said, really, this is what we have left. No, like this is what anyone holding on to this Champions League hopes, and this is like Premier League's done. And some of the guys were saying, well, we've got to go and take it serious. We've got to try and
100%
get a win and not come in for a draw.
I was on a live last night, and I said it. I'm fed up now of the moaning. We've done all our moaning, right? And quite rightly so. Listen, just hear me out a second.
Just saying, I haven't. That's all I'm saying.
Just hear me out a sec, right?
There's more?
There's more moaning to come, and the moaning's deserved right now because of what, you know what I mean, some of the issues that surround Arsenal. But right now, they've got a game in front of us, yeah? And I want to see some of these players step up. I want to see some of these players. I want to see Sterling, right? As I said to these guys earlier, we were doing a preview, and I was saying he's probably been on the bench all season, saying to Arteta, "Oh, when am I going to get on? When am I going to get on?" Well, you're on now. You're on every week, right? Because of the injuries. What can you do? Show me what you can do. Also, the same with Trossard. Remember at the start of the season, didn't want to celebrate at Villa when he scored that goal because he was saying, "Well, you're on every week now." So, you, Sterling, Martin Odegaard, I need some of these guys to really step up. A bit like what the youngsters have done in Wanyeri and Mars Lewis Skelly. They've come in emergency settings and they've stepped right up to the plate as young kids, 18 and 17. So these senior players now, and those three that I just mentioned in particular, I need to see more from them. I don't know what you think.
You're not wrong, because I agree. But for me, it falls more on Arteta than anything right now in terms of what we need to see out there. Because I'm getting a little echo here. Are we good? Are we good? 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah, we're good. Because I need to see something different. I said it before the last game, before Forest. I said we need to, the league's gone. So the last 11 games of the season, we've got our whole defensive unit there. We've got our whole midfield unit there, and we've got the keeper there. So it's just the attacking unit. I say just. I don't mean that in, that's a big thing. But let's do something different with our transition. Let's do something different with the pace we play at. Let's do something different with how direct we are, because we know the attackers we've left with, Trossard, Sterling, these men in one-on-one situations are not the best of wingers. So we need to move the ball as quickly as possible. But in the last couple of games, we're still doing the same old thing, labored. Yeah. The midfield just looks imbalanced because of it. I'm looking at the midfield more than the attack now because I expect nothing from the attack. I expect absolutely nothing. But the midfield I expect from, because that's the whole unit. Odegaard, Rice in particular, Partey. Then we got Jorginho, Mourinho still in, and a whole midfield unit is there. They need to be able to do something a bit different now. But then this is Champions League. We're still in it. We all want the Madrid fixture.
There you go. That was a question. Sorry to cut you. That was the question I was asking. I asked right at the end of our preview. It's coming out and should be out now. Actually, I said you wanted some sort of change, something different. But I said, is it the right game to really try and do change against PSV, or do you wait until you come back in the Premier League, United away? You might even say then United away is a tough game. Do you really want to do it then? When is it time to really experiment now, or do you wait till you're back in the Premier League?
Bro, we've been playing. It's not like we'd be changing up something that's really working at this moment in time. So it'd be changing up something that needs changing. Whether it works or not, it doesn't mean that if we change it up, it doesn't work. We miss what we've seen against Forest and against West Ham. Why would we miss that? But we still need to change it up and take that risk of changing it up, because the worst thing I think we can do is play in the same way we did against West Ham and against Forest and not win the game.
Well,
then I'm going to be more frustrated with Mikel than I would if he tried to change it up with what he has in hand. Because he's a manager at the end of the day. He changed it up an awful lot when he first came in. Back five, wins the FA Cup. Then it was a 4-2-3-1 for a while. Then he moved it to a 4-3-3 over a course of 3 years. And I bigged him up for that because that's flexibility. But he's very rigid all of a sudden. He doesn't want to do anything.
He'll get a lot of criticism, though. He'll get a lot of criticism if he does try and do changes against PSV and then lose. I actually advocated, though, for him to go Wanyeri up top, Sterling on the right, Trossard on left, because I wanted to do a counter-attacking style tomorrow. I want to see what you're kind of saying. I'm bored of seeing us dominate possession and try and put it into Mikel Marino to hold up the ball. I want to see him go a little bit, sit back and then counter instead of, just trying to, like I said, control the ball. But I don't know if it's the right game to do that. I kind of advocated for it in the Predict 11, but I also think if he does try and mix up a little bit, go to a back three or put two up front and it goes wrong, he's just going to get absolutely slated for that as well. So I don't know if this is the right game for it.
Whether he does or he doesn't, it's all about winning the game. If he doesn't win the game, or God forbid we lose the game, then whatever he's done out there, whether it's the same or different, he's going to face criticism.
Would you take a draw now?
Defense and midfield is there, huh?
Would you take a draw now?
Will I take a draw now? Bro, if I answer yes, it sounds like I think that means we're going to go through. I don't know. Honestly, I've seen enough from us at home to know that we're not cut and dry, that we're going to win the game at home either. So for me, I think we need to go for the win. They're not great now. Their best performances come against who did they knock out? Juventus.
Juventus, yeah. Too late, yeah.
Aside from that, they're not in great form. They've lost to go-ahead Eagles 2 games in a row. So let's aim for the win because yeah.
I mean, listen, right? As far as I'm concerned, as I said, right. When I keep saying about players stepping, I mean, I wouldn't personally put Sterling in the middle. I'd still stick with Marino up there. I think maybe a bit of a different game to some of the games we've seen recently, unless PSV go with different tactics, because they really need to try and come out a bit and try and win this game. We've played teams in the last 3 games who, let's face it, they didn't really come to stick it on Arsenal. They came to defend. If they get a draw, that's fantastic for them. Leicester were very, very defensive. I spoke to one of their fans after the game. He said that's the most defensive he's seen them play. And actually, he thought they played well that day until we got the goals. West Ham, we know they were very, very defensive, caught us on the counter-attack. And the same with Nottingham Forest, showed no ambition. They were very defensive. So will PSV come out a bit? That's one of the things that's going to be really intriguing to see. Will PSV be a little bit more ambitious? They were in their game against Juventus. And then I think that kind of will suit Arsenal more. You know, I might be able to see some of our flair players get on the ball a bit more. Maybe our style might be, you know, because styles make fights, as they say in boxing. So, you know, that might, but whatever it is, a combination of what you said, Mikel Arteta, tactically, style-wise, how he plays and how he sets up. And then also on top of that, these players stepping up. When I look at the front line of, you know, PSV with Perisic and De Jong, these aging players,
Bakayoko.
right? Bakayoko, he's okay. And then I look at Arsenal's front line, Raheem Sterling, who you know, I know he's off form, but time to get yourself on form. You were a top player. You played for England at the highest level. You played for Man City at the highest level. What is this? What it's come to that you are this bad? You can't be this bad. You've got, I mean, you can't be just rolling around. Oh, my confidence is gone. You got to do something about it.
Julian said he's got a chronic knee injury though. So I don't know where that came. I don't know if that's true. Is he injured?
Well, listen, if you ain't got a chronic knee injury, then just say you're out injured then, and don't turn up. But if you're going to put that shirt on, you got to step
chronic,
up.
it means that's it. You're always going to suffer from that. It's not
There's
going to get
many
better.
other players. There's many other players that are rolling around with injuries, right? I want to see players not feel sorry for themselves and step up to the plate, right? Because this is a game that Arsenal can win. This is the last thing that we're in. We've seen teams that nobody thought would get all the way to a final. A couple of seasons ago, Borussia Dortmund, they weren't really performing in the Bundesliga. They got all the way to the final. Arsenal, you can't just discount it and say we've got no chance whatsoever. We've got a very good defense, like Turkish said. We've got a very good midfield. But these guys, now, Arteta including in that, have got to make this team perform.
Okay, let me jump in and just read a super chat here because it kind of goes off the back of that. Lawrence Manuel says, this news has not changed my stance on Arteta. If he doesn't win the Champions League this season, then I want this Spanish clown out of my club. Now, I mean, Lawrence has been nice and positive there.
Messages on Facebook saying exactly the same thing.
He can't see you.
He can't. I know. But so Lawrence, I mean, a lot of fans that I've spoken with, and do you know what? Somewhat me, but not to this level. I've said, like, if he doesn't win a trophy this season, I understand. He's not a clown, but I'm saying I understand the fans. Listen.
That is his opinion, and that's fair enough. That's not the vast majority of fans.
No,
Let's be real.
No, it's not the vast majority.
I keep people.
They want silverware.
Somebody was saying to me the other day, "Oh, most fans want him out." That's rubbish.
Yeah, it's not.
Let's be real. That's rubbish.
But there is a majority.
Right, there's a lot of fans who are very unhappy with him. There are some fans who want him out, but that's not the majority of fans right now. He ain't gonna go between now and the end of the season. 100%. He's more than likely, I'd say, unless I don't know, he's absolutely gonna get next year, right? But he also needs to step up. Just like Turkish said, can we see a new formation? Can we see you think out of the box a bit? Because it has looked a bit tepid in the last few games. But there needs to be a big post-mortem at the end of the season. You know, why didn't he buy a striker? Why didn't he get nobody in January? Was it down to him? Was it down to the board? I mean, questions need to be asked. But right now, it's not the time for me. It ain't the time for questions right now. We've got a game tomorrow. I want to see the go out there and perform. That's what we've come out here.
Champions League's a big ask as well.
That's what we've come out.
I hear you. It's a big ask.
Champions League's a big ask for every fucking team in it. Excuse my French. For every team that's in this. Why do we want to be in these things?
To win it.
Just to say,
not to
just to
compete,
travel around.
to win it.
Well, I ain't earning no money from it.
We're losing money by any means. But that's the super chat there. First super chat. Second one comes from Moses France. Says, "Yo, Robbie, what is this? What is B-Tech Daniel Levy doing with you? He actually."
Well, let's get him in. Let's get in.
Come on, Julian.
Let's get Daniel.
Was that a
You
compliment?
and Turkish behave, behave. Yeah.
I actually agreed with what Turkish said.
Hold
at
on,
the
wait a minute.
beginning.
When somebody says you're the B-Tech Daniel Levy, that ain't a compliment.
No, I've got a lot of respect for Daniel Levy. Very good businessman.
Yeah,
He's built a very lovely stadium.
Yeah.
with
They
a
ain't
few-
won nothing though.
with-
People want to see. People want to see winning. What's with all that like, man?
Yeah, it looks like you man are about to be zoomed up to a UFO, bro. What you man?
But yeah, go on. Sorry, Junior.
Yeah, no, but I'm very happy with Daniel Levy. He's built a beautiful stadium. He's regenerating the area at Tottenham, and they've still won nothing. So he's got my vote.
But what's your views on the game tomorrow?
Well, I actually agreed with pretty much everything that Turkish said at the beginning. Yeah, but he did. He spoke absolute sense. Is that we do have to. We've got to change it. It's. I wouldn't actually blame the players in this instance, and I'm not advocating to get rid of Arteta. I think he's still a great manager, but I think the style of play is something we've got to question. It is absolutely looking tepid. And if we carry on like that, then not only are we not going to win games, but it's not entertaining either, because I know fans primarily go to watch their team win, but the other side of it is you want to be entertained. And at the moment, we're getting neither. That's my view.
Definitely. Turkish, you still there?
I'm still here. Julian agrees. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing to argue about. Is there anything to argue about? Bring Leon. He called me a moaner earlier. He must be kidding.
Yeah,
Let's talk to Lee.
You are moaning. You are absolutely moaning.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, let's go.
But as regards Arteta, I would say that it's a valid moan, because the last few games, not only have we not looked like scoring, we haven't even been creating chances. So I wouldn't even blame the strikers, because the fact is we haven't got to the stage of putting the strikers in front of goal to miss. We're not even creating. So if we're not even creating, who do you blame? You can't blame all the players. You've got to blame the style of football. And the style of football's on the manager.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Lee.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. That listen, you know me, Turkish. I always agree with you. You know, we're top friends and everything like that. But no, listen, I make you right. The thing at the moment is that football isn't very, very good. It's not. It's all right if you're winning, you can accept it a little bit. But when you're not winning, and it's not entertaining, it's not great, is it? And listen, I'll be honest, if it's not an entertaining game tomorrow and we draw 0-0 and we get a result, I'm not going to be too dismissive of it, because it's about getting through to the next round now. That is where we're at now. I don't think that we can go through this Champions League being open and expect to get loads of goals and everything like that. We're going to have to change our style. It's going to be a little bit defensive. We've got the defenders that are good enough. As you've quite rightly said, we were saying it earlier on. We've still got our first choice midfield out. Realistically, got our defensive unit there, and it's a choice if you want to play Timber or you want to play Ben White. Now it's all there intact, and the goalkeeper.
You can even play Tierney.
You've got Tierney that can come in there as well.
You've got plenty of options in defence.
Yeah, so
that isn't
not
the
a problem.
issue.
It's just what you got out front. And at the end of it, as you say, like, you know, I'll be more than disappointed if we don't keep a clean sheet tomorrow. That's what we've got to do. We've got to go to places like where we are tomorrow. Like when we got to the Champions League final, didn't win it, but when we got there, we went to the Bernabeu, we got 0-0s and 1-0s and kept clean sheets. That is exactly what we've got to do now. No excuses. I don't think there's any excuses now for, maybe not for winning games, but certainly not conceding goals.
There can't be any excuses, because this is by design. January was by design. There wasn't the right character or profile or body, so there can't be excuses, because that would be the excuse, no? that our attack is ripped to shreds. Yeah, we knew that already in January. So if they decided not to move, then that excuse is not there for them. Any one of them.
But I think you're going back to your default position. Is all about the transfer window. In as much as what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter who you got up front. If you sort of wind the clock back to before the transfer window, when we had the players there, I think that some of the problems we've got now were still there with different players.
Yeah.
So if the problems were there when we had different players, when you had Saka there, when you had Martinelli there, when you had Havertz, we were still complaining about that we needed a forward player. Now you've taken them out. We're still saying we need a forward player, but I'm not seeing the chances being created. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily about having the players. I would say it's about the style of play, that he has become so defensive in the way that he's undertaken the game. And again, I'll go back to the entertainment factor. Of course, we want them to win. But how many times can we say it's all about the result, all about the result? Is that what we go to football for? Just to see what 1-0 wins? I'd rather see us win 4-3. Actually have a game of football. I've seen some tremendous games of football over the last few weeks. Not one of them's included watching Arsenal.
Yeah, I understand your point. But part of going football is seeing your team achieve something at the very end of it, whether it's boring Arsenal or whether it's, Premier League changing Arsenal with Wenger. We've seen both sides of that coin, especially that, you two a bit older than me. You've seen the 1-0 to the Arsenal era, and you've seen the era where Wenger turned it on his head and played some of the most exciting football. Both styles of football led to trophies, and that's why essentially we remember it so much. The 22-23 season, as great as it felt in the season, let's be honest, none of us here really care. Look back at that season and care. Real talk, none of us. But we played some exciting football.
Yeah, it was exciting.
We won many games in a row. But essentially, if it doesn't come out with anything, then it's on to the next one. Forget that one.
It is on to the next one. But ultimately, if you're going to watch boring football, you've got nothing. At least we had, and it's something to grasp onto. We had moments, and in those moments and in those games, we had a fantastic time watching our team. And all right.
No, I know you want to win something, and I get that, but also you want to be going to places and be proud of the team afterwards and enjoy watching them play. I don't think, to be honest, I haven't enjoyed one game this season where I thought, wow, we've been really entertaining and enjoying.
There's been a phrase, City at home, and there's Sporting away.
There's been a couple, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about a lot of games. I'm going to be really honest. We're playing Leicester, one of the most poorest teams I've ever seen. For 70 minutes, we was bored out of our heads, and for 80 minutes. And because you get the 2 goals, it covers up all of that. The goals cover up 1,000 sins, and that's what exactly happens. But, as we said, all right, we've done well against Man City. Probably like Crystal Palace is another one that's quickly coming to my mind. It wasn't a great game, though. But last season, wherever we was going, we was getting entertained. It was great, 6-0, 5-0. We went to West Ham away, thinking at one stage, you didn't go to that one, did you? But we was thinking at one stage it could be double figures. Double figures. You know what I mean?
It should have been double figures at Sheffield United.
Sheffield United, it was another one. But now you're thinking you're lucky if you get one goal. Say like that, weren't we? But now you're thinking about, being what, I don't think, if we'd be really honest, do you think Arsenal have got 2 goals in them nowadays? I don't think they have. And that, you're right what you're saying, Julian. That was before all these injuries. I think we can jump on and keep going on about injuries. It wasn't great when Saka was playing, Havertz was playing. We weren't really.
Yeah, it was not great. No.
I've seen a lot of walking football this year. Very, very slow. How many first halves have you seen when you've gone? Well, that was a waste of time.
It's more about the intensity, and you don't need the best players on the pitch to be able to up the intensity. And what he's doing, as Lee said, it's like walking football. He's taken the intensity out of the game. And what that does is create 2 things, or take away 2 things. First of all, the entertainment factor is that when the team plays with pace, the crowd gets up for it, and it has almost like a snowball effect. And when he slows it down, it allows the opposition to defend easier. So people saying West Ham played brilliantly a few weeks ago. I thought West Ham were crap. It was just we were that much worse. If we're going to be that slow to get into the box. Of course, their players are going to be able to come back. If you break with intensity, it doesn't give them the chance to set up.
That's it. Partly player recruitment as well, because he's failed to sign anyone electric, and anyone electric we have had, he's kind of honed it in a little bit, or the style of football has had an impact.
But he has honed it in. So for me, you've got the players. He's had the players there. All right. So at the moment, we have been decimated. He's still got players with the ability to play a lot better and with a lot more intensity than he's doing. He's playing the game in a way that he doesn't want to be beaten. And what he's done, he's perfected the art of pretty much not being beaten. I mean, even the last few weeks, we didn't lose. All right. We lost
quite a few.
We've lost about 4 now.
I mean, we lost against
3 this year.
I'm talking about the last few weeks. The West Ham game.
Newcastle twice.
Okay, all right, we've lost.
we drew with Man United.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
I'm talking about the Premier League. The League Cup. All right, it's a competition, but it's not one I've ever taken particularly seriously.
3 games we've lost in the league. That's all.
Yeah, in the league is our bread and butter. I can't think of too many games that we've actually lost, but I see plenty of games where we've struggled to win.
Let me jump. Go on. Go on.
Hit the like button, people.
Musical cheers. It's musical cheers here. I'll tell you that, right? I have some super chats here. Want to get in, but you know what, right? This is another thing, right? So, how many Arsenal fans were over the past couple of seasons? If only we had Diego Simeone. Now we're moaning about boring football. It is a style of playing that you make yourself. Yeah, but I'm saying you just said he's only lost 3 games, right? So I'm just saying it is a style of football that you make yourself really hard to beat, right? Number one, so you have a great defense and you have a solid midfield. That's how Simeone, Mourinho, those have been their styles. And then up front now, you have those players that get the goals. Now, he is suffering a lot from the fact that he's missing key players like Saka and that can score these goals. I agree with you, the style of football, I want to see an improvement on the style of football. But the most important thing is winning. I think Turkish said it. I agree with that. It's winning games.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And under George Graham, nobody was moaning about. It wasn't
boring. It wasn't. Under George Graham, it wasn't boring football. We won the league in 80.
It was.
We won the league in 89 with the most goals scored. Not on goal difference and all that.
89
and 91.
But there was other occasions, right? When we had the label
93 and
boring Arsenal. We would go and shut games down, right? And that was George Graham's
because you didn't have the players.
That was his way of playing.
Yeah.
And if you win,
exactly that.
If you're winning games, no one moans. As I said, Diego Simeone, his style. People don't really moan about. His fans don't moan about the style of play because they win games. So it's about winning games.
He's proven. Sorry? He's proven. That's why, because essentially his name comes with a reputation now that he's a winner. Regardless of he hasn't won a multitude of stuff.
He hasn't won nothing for a very long time as well.
Is that the thing though? That
league a few years.
He's a great manager. He's a great manager.
Is that the thing that gets a little bit beaten with Mikel at this moment in time when people are going, "Oh, he's a clown and he's this and he's that and all that"? It's because he's
not a clown.
He hasn't won anything. I don't know. There's certainly not. He's certainly not like But is it because he's not been able
he ain't
to
won
win
nothing? Yeah, that's
and I think
he hasn't
he's not
built up.
Been a proven winner in managing.
Yeah, he hasn't built up
a reputation.
He hasn't got that in the bank. Yeah. I think the first couple of seasons he had the FA Cup in the bank. That gave him credit. This is going to be now 3 seasons in a row where we've finished second. So when people are saying, "Is this a guy to get us over the line?" They're very valid to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
that's where
you're getting us to. It's a bit like Moses, isn't it? You're taking us to the promised land, but are you the guy that's gonna
get us through the sea?
Yeah, God said, "Yo, you ain't the guy. You ain't getting us over the."
It's like being in front of that sea. Yeah, your analogy. Yeah, and every year that passes, the person next to you says, "Oh, don't worry. A few years ago, we was all the way back there." That excuse can't keep on running because 2 years ago we were challenging for a title. So now it is 3 years ago we were challenging for a title next season.
He parted the sea, but we're still not at the promised land. You know what I mean? That's just one stage.
People are still holding us back. They're just saying, "Yeah, we was further back. We was a few more miles back a few years ago. Remember those times?" Why the hell would I remember those times? 8th and 5th. Why do people like to use that as the metric 5 years ago, look where we was. 20 years ago, look where we was. Or 2 years ago, look where we was. Both challenging for league titles. But people like to use 5 years ago because it fits the narrative of trust in a process, loyalty, blind, all of this stuff. The reality is, use 2 or 20 years and Arsenal were challenging for league titles. That's the standard. Not 5 years ago. That was never the standard. That's what we've become.
And this year, let's make no mistake, this has not been a title challenge this season. I don't think so. We're in the beginning of March and we're out of it. So I don't think it's a title challenge this season by any stretch of the imagination. Like, you know, the last 2 seasons, 100% yes. And then, you know, sometimes I'm not saying that you've not got no divine right to win titles and whatever, but I think Arsenal as a football club have got a divine right to challenge for them. And this season has been a big failure as far as I'm concerned from that point of view.
Let me do a couple of super chats here. So Michael Oliver says the players...
Oh, rather not.
He says the players won't turn up because Arteta is not a manager that can galvanise the troops and get them to die for the shirt. Absolutely spineless. I think that's a bit harsh, to be honest. HW, they are still playing for him. HW says a big Atleti follower here. Berta sells the... Well, but the signing since... I'm just trying to get my head around what you're saying there. The signing since...
Sporting director in 2017 are iffy. He fell out with Cholo 3 years ago and it got to the stage where Cholo picked signings, being Simeone.
Alvarez and RDP.
Oh,
right,
brilliant.
so it's not been going... But they are... I think they're second in the league, aren't they? They're doing well this year. And he says, having said that, Berta... He's a strong character and won't just lap up whatever crap Arteta and KSC serve up. So I'm very surprised he's the front runner. He's talking about the sporting director, isn't it? This is Berta.
Did he get Conor Gallagher?
Yeah.
So
Conor Gallagher's done well for them.
I'm not saying he isn't. Look, don't jump on my throat. I'd have Conor Gallagher at Arsenal.
I think he did bring in Griezmann. Yeah, I think he did.
Trippier? Is there anybody else? Cunha?
Yeah.
Cunha?
Listen, put it this way, right? It'll be better than what we got at the moment because we ain't got no sporting director.
No.
And we saw in January, you know, what a mess that ended up being.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what you think of... let me just see if I can get that rumour up on my phone that was being spoken about today, Turkish.
Sesko.
I don't know if the Sesko one. So let me just find it here. Bear with me. We're live. I know that's the one about
Turkish, Sesko or Gyökeres for you.
Gyökeres? What? Our fan base is mad, you know. I'm telling you. There's one striker scoring 25 goals a season, yeah? And there's another one that hasn't broke 20 in a league season, but because he might be the guy in 2... Why do we like the might be's all the time? You think Saliba, Saka, and all these men want might be's? We want now. Come and bang now.
Don't always work like that, though, Turkish.
It doesn't, but it works like that more often than not.
We want the real deal. Go on.
Exclusive from Florian Plattenberg. He says, until now, there'd only been talk of a verbal agreement, but Benjamin Sesko has a formally fixed release clause in his contract until 2029. This clause can be activated starting this summer. It's tied to various parameters such as games played, goals, and assists, and increases regularly. Currently, the clause stands at around 70 million euros for the 21-year-old striker, but by the end of the season, it's expected to reach approximately 80 million euros. All the top English clubs have expressed their interest, including Manchester United, Tottenham, and Arsenal. The only club not involved in the race is Manchester City. Benjamin Sesko, 80 million euros. That's around about, you can calculate that one, it's about 70 million. 70 odd million pounds. Would you be happy with that, Turkish? Would you be happy with that, Lee?
No. I'm going to be really honest. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Sesko, but I think that he's raw, 21 years of age, potential is there. But I'm at the ilk now when after what's happened in these last 2 transfer windows, we've got to go for the real deal.
So who is the real deal?
Now?
Who's the real deal?
Gyökeres is the real deal.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
He's not really proven.
Are you sure he's the real deal? Is he the real deal?
He's banging in the goals in.
Well, they're out of the Champions League.
He's closer to the real deal than Sesko, that's for sure.
Is he?
Yeah, because he's banging, Rob. He's banging. So the next step up for him is a better club, maybe challenging for honours, and to see
So
if he can do it there.
Sesko's got how many goals this season? It's about 17, I think.
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
And obviously, Gyökeres has got 20 something. He
There you
scored
go,
a couple of hat-tricks. But could you
scored
argue?
Scored a hat-trick against Man City.
Could you argue it's a lot easier league, the Portuguese league?
Yes, I'm not saying it ain't.
right, than it is to score those goals in the Bundesliga. Those are factors.
I don't know, man.
Had a couple
Bundesliga's
season of championship where you got to be up for it, you know. So I think physically you'd be all right. Like Isak would be my ideal.
He would be my ideal as well. That's the only sort of striker I'm looking at there right now and saying, right, real deal is possibly and I don't even know if he's gettable, is Isak. All the rest for me are maybe.
Or Harry Kane as well.
Yeah, Harry Kane's but I'm on about younger guys, like younger. All the rest of the players I think about are strikers. And don't get me wrong, we need to get somebody, right? But no, who is that other nailed-on striker? Even we was talking about Victor Osimhen last night, Stricto saying that he wouldn't get him because he doesn't think he's clinical enough. Who's that nailed-on guy? Gyökeres, great record, but a lot of that's been in Portugal. Remember the last guy who scored a lot of goals in Portugal, who came to England, he can't hit a barn door, innit? And that's Darwin Núñez. Came in with a big rep, Is that league a lot easier to score goals in when you look at the teams?
Bruno
Then it is
Fernandes, did he come from there?
Yeah, but he's not a striker, is he?
Strikers,
still a good
we're
player.
talking strike. No, listen, great players.
I think you're giving a bit of disrespect for that.
No, not even good players. Great players come from Portugal. But I'm saying if you scored 20 goals in Portugal, that's not the same as scoring 20 goals in the Premier League or the Bundesliga or La Liga.
And who-
It's
Why
not.
many goals Harry Kane?
And
got
who
in
was the
Bundesliga?
last? Here's a question for you four. Who was the last prospect out of Germany that came to the Prem for around 70 mil?
Haaland.
Havertz?
No,
Havertz.
Havertz.
Haaland.
Havertz.
Haaland.
Haaland's not Haaland was never a prospect. Haaland was 30.
Yeah, he was-
30.
yeah,
Yeah, but he was a
Havertz
30, but he was young, wasn't he?
And 5.5 years on, we still don't know what he is.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
But Havertz didn't come as a striker. You give me a striker that's come
He
from
came
there.
as somebody.
I'm
and
just saying, who's from Portugal has come as a hot shot striker. I'm not saying guys that have come and have developed it like a Jota that's developed it. I'm on about a hot shot striker that's been signed.
There's no
from
guarantees
Portugal.
in anybody, by the way.
Only one I can look at and say, right, if he came to Arsenal, I can guarantee in my mind he'd bang his Isak right now. Apart
Harry
from
Kane.
And Harry Kane, yeah. I'm on about younger guys though.
No,
Well,
for
Harry
me,
Kane's-
if you sign a Gyökeres, there's no excuses for Mikel to get that guy scoring. No excuses. He's got the physical attributes. He not only scores in Portuguese league, he scores on international level for Sweden. He bags goals. I think he's got like 9 in 6 for Sweden this last year. He bags in the Champions League, a hat-trick against City, and I think he's got like 6-7 goals overall. If he comes, that's a proven striker at a top level. So if he doesn't acclimatize, then it's the eyes on Arteta. How are you not making this work? Whereas if Sesko comes in and doesn't work, he's young. Give him time. It took Isak 2 years. We ain't got fucking 2 years. And these excuses are already made. That's why I want a striker that's bagging 20, 30 a season if possible. Gyökeres is doing that on top of international and European level. Bring him in. There's no excuses. He's also played in the Championship and bagged goals, right? Maybe not out of this world, but he's played in this country. So there's no, he needs to get used to the weather. He's been here. He knows what it is. It is what it is. That is if it's not Isak, because it's too much, I get that. Gyökeres, 20 mil more than whatever this quote is for Sesko. 80,
when Isak come in, nobody thought he'd be doing what he's doing now. We all thought he was a very good player. We didn't think he's a sort of guy that would hit 20. He also had a reputation of not being super clinical.
Yeah.
Everybody knew he was a good player. I remember he was played in the Euros or he played in international competition. Everyone was like, hey, this guy looks something about him. But, I mean, I look out there at strikers right now and there's no... And this is not to say we desperately need a striker. We've got to get somebody. But apart from, like you said, Harry Kane, Haaland, Isak, who else is that?
No.
Obviously Mbappe, he's not really a striker, but, an Mbappe.
Well, yeah,
these guys guarantee you goals. It's not a lot.
and when you look at Isak a couple of years ago, he's had to develop, Robbie. He's developed now from when he first went to Newcastle to what he is now. And I'm not talking about just in his play. Body-wise, you've got to be hardened to the Premier League, breaking down a few times, injuries and all that. Like it all adds up. Sesko's a project. Listen, I think he could be as good as Isak in a couple of years' time. We don't know. But I do think like we need it now. We need goals now. If he can come and guarantee us goals, I'm happy with that. Like.
Okay, Ricky Proctor with the super chat. He says, Lee, you keep saying we don't have the divine right to win titles. Let me ask you, do you think Arsenal have the divine right to win one title at least in 21 years?
Listen, Arsenal, how many titles have Arsenal won in their history? 13. You know what I mean? So that just shows you everything that you need to know. We're not a team that wins and wins and wins and wins.
No,
we never have
but
been.
by that maths, he's still kind of bang on, because if you do what 1886, yeah. 14 years, 100 years, 114, 25.
This is what it's come to.
139 years, 13 league
Divided by 13.
139 years, 13 league titles. That's a league title every 11 and a half years or so. Pardon my maths. It's off the top of my head. It's off the top of my head. Someone confirm that.
Hey, someone clip that. I love that.
As Julian says, you do win them in clusters, you know. Listen, I don't think you've got, in my personal opinion, I don't think you've got any divine right to win any trophy. I think it's very, very difficult. Look at, the FA Cup. I don't know how many years that's been going. Only won it 14 times. So it's difficult to win trophies. What I'm saying is, when you get in that position to win it, you've got to nail it. Yeah. And that's why I'm so disappointed about this season, because I felt we was still in position to win it in January, and the club didn't do everything that it should have done to try and win it. And that's where I'm disappointed. So that's where I go from there.
By the way, people, don't forget, we're over here in Amsterdam at the moment, looking ahead to that game, PSV Eindhoven tomorrow. We're going to be at the game. Sir Michael Oliver says, Uncle Lee, thoughts on Cecil suggesting João Pedro. So this was a live we were doing the other night. Both Cecil and Stricto said that they'd like us to bring in João Pedro as our striker.
Well, were they not doing that from Amsterdam? Was they doing that from in England?
It explains it all.
My God, no.
I
actually quite like him as a footballer, though. Look, I think we'd all agree that Danny Welbeck would do a good job for us at this moment in time, wouldn't he? So, could have got him back for this time, But I quite like Pedro as a player, but
not clinical enough for me.
No.
Arsenal Champions League winner 2025 says, get Rodrigo after we've won this champs.
Do you want to come in?
I remember you were suggesting that Turkish, that's a player that we could go, and I agree, that's the sort of standard. Hassan says, Robbie, will your Rocky speech help us to win the Champions League? So there's people having a go at me yesterday. Well, not having a go at me, saying that I did a Rockies, but I was just basically stating the fact that I'm just fed up with the, we've all had our moan, yeah? We can moan, actually. We can moan, because that's all we can. But those players on the pitch, I don't want to see them feeling sorry for themselves. And we've had these injuries now for quite a while. They've got to get on with it. So step up.
Yeah.
Step up. That's all I was saying. Step up, man. And in boxing sometimes, you're in a fight. It's a 12-round fight. You know what I mean? You got to round 6, 7, and you got a bad cut. You don't just see them just bail out, and they keep fighting, man, and fighting, and a lot of times they win. So that's what I want to see from some of these players. You know what I mean? I don't want them using these injuries as an excuse right now. You know what I mean? Someone says Gyökeres and Mateta or Sorloth as a backup. Mateta, Turkish?
What did he say? Did he say Gyökeres and Mateta?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, but that's unlikely. I'd say Gyökeres and Jonathan David, because he's free, Jonathan David. That's
that. When you said
I'm
that
not overly impressed by him. I don't want Robbie to say in 3 years that Turkish said, if you bring in Jonathan David, it's going to up the level. I'm not saying that right now. What I'm saying is backup striker. I'll take.
When you said it the other night, I was actually with you on that. I like that. I think Jonathan David is, and remember, he's available on a free transfer.
Yeah,
You
he's
don't
on
like him?
40K a week.
He's got a great scoring record as well in a better league
know.
in France, and he's done it consistently over quite a few years. And to me, he's available on a free. I don't think he's your main guy, but certainly I think that'd be a good bit of business if they bought Sesko and Jonathan David.
I work with him a lot
That's
with the international team. I watch Jonathan David when I go with Canada, the CONCACAF, and even in the trains. I don't know. He's still raw. He still reminds me of a Balogun sort of player, and he hasn't really
scored way
hit the
more goals than Balogun. He scored a lot of goals. Backup striker. We're not saying main guy. Backup available on the free.
Is better than him? I think he is better than him. João Pedro will be better than Jonathan David in my opinion.
But
As a backup,
Pedro, Brighton player. They spent a lot of money on him. I think they paid about nearly 35 million. You're talking they're going to want 60, 70 million for him. You spend that money on your main guy, and then you get Jonathan David on a free.
Yeah.
And then you got two strikers battling it out for that position. Or if a striker's out, like what we've seen this season, you got someone who can come in who's actually a striker.
Yeah, Jonathan. I mean, because of the business with him being free, I mean that's definitely an option. But again,
got a better goal scoring record than João Pedro.
Yeah, but in different. Come on, look what João Pedro's doing in our league as well. I know it's not crazy numbers, but
scored
it's still good.
6-7 goals.
Yeah, more than
Pedro's not really a
Martinelli.
striker, man. That's the
He plays
problem.
with the left at times as well.
I'd rather than Pedro, I'd rather Mateus Cunha.
Okay, yeah. Well, after he's Petrus,
I don't
you
care.
don't care about. You love all that. You love all that.
Yeah,
Aggression.
Listen, and Mikel's got to be good enough to curb that.
Yeah, you got to get out of his game.
There's a thing going around that Arteta cannot manage big time players. Listen, Man United are a very, very similar state to what we are going back years ago when they just couldn't win the league. And what they done was they brought in Eric Cantona. He was a handful, but he was the one that took them to the title. And that maybe is what we need. And certainly Arteta's got to be able to do that.
Before you read that super chat, Rob, I come in for this kind of the closing of the live. I've got some of the quotes from the press conference. On Josh Kroenke being present, no, he hasn't been because he had to go. But yes, very good to have him around. He's around a lot of the time for big moments. He really wants to be with the team. Turkish, we make it
around when? When was he? Is he being? Is he going to be present tomorrow?
No,
I don't think he'll be present tomorrow. I think he's gone back. He's saying he's gone back now. He's here for the big moments. But he really wants to be with the team, though.
Who?
Josh. That's what he's saying. Josh really wants to be with the team.
Oh wow.
You see what I mean about Mikel though? Get along, gang. You don't need to say that. If someone asks you about Josh Kroenke, you'd be like, "Yeah, he's here. He owns the club. He's come to check in." You don't need to say it's good to have him here. He loves the big moments. You don't need to say that. But Arteta's there to frame this image of Josh. Wenger did that with Stan. Okay, you don't need to say these things. You do not need to. It's because you're lying. He's here for the big moments. What? You're a liar, Mikel, man. Don't stop doing that. Stop.
All of them do it though, any Turkish. All of them do it. I mean, you got Pep at the moment.
I don't think top managers historically.
Well, no, you got Pep at the moment, right? You got all those charges against. You got all those charges against City, and he's like going out on a limb saying that no, not guilty. No, he doesn't know yet until the actual case is over, but he's going out on a limb. So a lot of managers do it, don't they? It's their employer, right? I bet they'll be out of a job.
No, but that's Pep's thing is kind of different though. Pep's talking when asked about a case, and he's not, And to be honest, if Pep was to say these are the best owners he's ever worked with,
well, they are. They're brilliant owners.
Exactly. I'm not going to say you're lying. If Pep was to say, if Pep was to say these men want to win the big things, they're here for the big moments. He's not lying. Mikel's saying all these things. That's the issue. You're lying. Stop doing that.
Says, Nabusi with a super chat, he says, get Osimhen. He might not be as clinical as others, but he has more fight than them all. Would you be happy with Osimhen in the summer?
I think you try for Isak, you don't get Isak, you get Gyökeres. If those two are not available and you cannot get them, then Osimhen for me is cool. I'll take him.
Osimhen or Sesko?
Osimhen, because I want, the thing is he's not even proven 2020 year in year out, but I don't want no excuses next year. I don't want no.
You're gonna get
Sesko's gonna come with a bag of excuses, and it's not on him. But he's young. He ain't been in this league. He needs to climb. He comes in with all of that, and we ain't got excuse. Come on.
I hear what you're saying, but I just can't think about as I said, I still can't think who's that ready-made guy that's available. Like Lee said, it's a Harry Kane, isn't it? Somebody like who we'd never get, obviously, but it's somebody like that you know, if you dropped him into Arsenal's team, it's 20+ goals.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of many that are available like that right now. He's going to be you're going to have to kind of turn somebody a little bit into that. Somebody's got a good goal scoring record that you improve or improves with better players around him. Maybe it is Gyökeres. I don't know.
I'd like Gyökeres. I mean, when we watch
Rishi Sama, sorry, just that super chat. Put pressure on Tim Lewis and Garlic, he says. Sorry, Tess.
Yeah, no, I mean, just quickly on that, Tim Lewis, Garlic, I suppose, and Ato as well, because I'm still frustrated that the club's saying he's doing a good job for not doing anything. That's still annoying. I worry that, I mean, they're obviously looking for a sporting director, but I hope they're just not considering him at all, as well as, you know, I mean, Tim Lewis and Richard Garlick. The Tim Lewis situation with the Ollie Watkins thing really frustrated me as well. So they're right to put pressure on also the people within the board, not just, you got to put pressure on Arteta and the board as well, but I think that those are the people you need to look at. I was just going to read some more. There wasn't really too much more from the press. I was going to read some of the notes. I was saying about Timber returning. He was struggling previously as well. With fitness and whatnot. We said we want Timber to start, but
I want Timber to start tomorrow, yeah, because as I said, and you'll see it in the preview, he's from here. You know what I mean? And he played against PSV multiple times. He knows the ground. He knows the terrain. And he's a very, very good player. Lee actually made a suggestion, which is not a bad one, which was like play Ben White on the right and Timber on the left. You could do that. But I think Mars Lewis Skelly's done enough to earn his start. And I'll be comfortable with Lewis Skelly there and Timber on the right. But I think Timber for me is a very important player in this game tomorrow.
Turkish is a big fan of Mars Lewis Skelly. Turkish, would you put him, obviously he's coming back off his ban from his red card, would you put him straight in? Mars Lewis Skelly. Yeah?
This is
He
position.
doesn't let us down. It's what I'm saying with these kids. They've stepped up. You know what I mean? Mars Lewis Skelly, unknown kid from the youth team. Manager says, yo, guys, Lewis, Miles, sorry, we got a crisis here.
Yeah.
Nobody can play at left back. You're left-footed. I know you're a midfielder. Come in and do a job. Not only has he done a job, he's stepped up. He's been brilliant. He's played in big games. And now he's keeping big players out of the team.
So
that's what I class as stepping up, right? Same with Ethan Nwaneri. Nwaneri come, right, I need you to play, Odegaard's out. He stepped up. Right, Ethan, now Saka's out. We need you there. He stepped up again. He scored a goal in the Champions League. This is what I want to see
the youngsters
from Raheem Sterling, from Trossard, from Odegaard. These guys, if the youngsters can do it, so can they.
Do you want to see more of the youngsters stepping up in the sense of, do you think Arteta should be looking more into the academy for a striker option? You saw Man United the other night bring on Chidori Martin, obviously ex-Arsenal, and same with Heaven. Do you think he should be using more?
They've got to be ready, though, innit? They've got to be ready. That's the thing about it, right? I know everybody says, I'll just go and pluck a kid out and play him. What if that kid ain't ready? I've watched a lot of youth football, right? And sometimes when you see kids playing in youth football, you can tell they ain't. I always remember, I go back to this years ago, I was at a youth game, and it was an Arsenal youth game. I think Amari Hutchinson was playing in that. And they were playing really, really well. It was against Crystal Palace. And I remember at half-time, Palace brought on like a couple of first-team players that were coming back from injury. I think, was it at Collins he used to play for, right? Not Collins. Who's that the centre-back he used to play from? I'm not even talking about top players.
When I played at West Ham as well.
Yeah, I think so. Was the centre-back. Yeah. And when those guys came... Yeah, when those guys came on, you could see it was boys against men. Right, all of a sudden they were just a little bit wily. They knew where, like the position, to get the foot in. They're more physically stronger. So sometimes it's not every youngster that's ready. Ethan Nwaneri's ready. Mars Lewis Skelly's ready. We don't know if the others are.
But I've been watching Sterling recently and think, bloody hell, he's fallen off a cliff. He doesn't seem ready. I've seen him run it off the pitch. Like,
very true. Very true.
You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm like, well, if you've got nothing really.
No, but listen, maybe it might be, is it a day? Maybe they give him a chance. But I'm just saying that you can't always just say.
Yeah, one of them's 20. Yeah, one of them's
you can't always just say go and get the kids.
22, you're not ready.
Yeah, so yeah,
might not be ready. I mean, we really don't know who's,
Turkey. There's another super chat flew in here. Before we read it out, just what is your score prediction? I know you did box to box. How do you think this game plays out? Have you gone with these? I'm not going to spoil what these good boys did in the preview, but what was your score prediction, just quickly?
2-1 PSV 1-1, something like that.
All right, Rishi says Havertz is top 20 GA per pre-injury. Centre forward matters, but need a Xhaka replacement and winger for dynamics. Board never invested in Mikel's attacking vision. Actually, Turkish, on that, I know you did a box to box with that PSV fan. What did he say? What did he say were their weaknesses at the moment? And obviously we want people to go and watch it, but just give us a brief thing of how he said were the weaknesses at PSG.
He called it a makeshift attack versus a makeshift defense. He said as much as the problems we have in attack, they have them in defense. So that bodes well, or so it should when you look at our attackers and the people there. But he said that the only real games they've turned up for are the big ones in the last couple of months, 2-3 months since December. He said Juventus is by far the best performance he's seen. Aside from that, it's just been very poor. Like they're just gone out to go-ahead Eagles semi-final of the Cup last Wednesday. I spoke to him on Friday, and they played go-ahead Eagles in the league then the Saturday, the day after, and they lost again. And he pretty much predicted it. He said, I don't think it's going to go well. And it's not like go-ahead Eagles are anything that they should be worried about. I would have been worried about 3-4 months ago because PSV started the season well, but something's going on there. He said that with the defense the way it is, it's not looking good for them. He's not too confident. He said Perisic is the one to look out for. Sabari, midfielder, creates a lot. Their top scorer in the league is out. Forgot what his name was.
Pepe, no?
Pepe.
He's out. But yeah, he's not too optimistic, if I'm honest. So I went into that saying 2-1 PSV. I came out of it saying 1-1.
Okay, interesting. I mean, that gave you a bit of confidence. Just quickly, sorry. At the end of that Josh Kroenke quote, because I got that off the Arsenal website now, when it says he wants to be with the team, he then goes on to say, Arteta, it's great to have him. He's been around today, and hopefully in the next few days as well. So he is here. Yeah. So you might see.
You can say hello to him then.
Turkish. They might pan to him in the game. And
I couldn't give a shit if Arteta thinks it's great to have Kroenke. Do you think Saliba gives a shit if Josh Kroenke is walking around, or Saka thinks Josh? None of them players give a shit about.
You have
Josh
questioned
Kroenke
he's not around enough. You did question.
I don't care if Mikel thinks it's great for him to be around. Cool. That's your brethren. All right.
You needed to be
I like
around
when my friends
January.
are around as well, or when we're local. It's calm.
Should have been around in January with his checkbook.
Yeah.
Abdullah says he needs to decide what Wanyeri is, by the way. Is he cover for Saka or Odegaard? Because we need to cover for both. If he's a number 10, we'll need 2 wingers and a striker.
What's his best position for you?
I think so far, looking at him, his best position's on that right-hand side.
Yeah.
I've been very impressed with him. I've been very impressed with him,
Yeah, you want him in the 10 as well. You want him in
long
10,
term, yeah, 10 long term. But for the next few years, come in and out of the right wing and 10 position.
Do you know what I like about him, Turkish, right? He cuts in, but he can also go out, he can also go to the byline as well. You know what I mean? He's a box of tricks. Gubby Fish has been listening to Crucial View. Big up Pirate Pun, Lan, Crucial Robbie, love guys.
What's
big
that?
up.
What's that? Your sound?
No, that was a tune on
Crucial
my album.
View.
Crucial View is my album that I did back in the day. Yeah, big up, man.
Come on.
Turkish got album coming out soon.
Look, he's happy now, isn't he? Happy now.
Kroenke out, that's the album.
Anyway, you know what? We're coming to the end of the live stream today. Listen, Turkish has been great. It's been good to hook up with everybody.
What a good host.
What
a good host.
No
he said
worries,
with a
dude,
big
man.
smile on his face.
I'll see you on Forever soon, mate.
But listen, we're over here at the moment. We're in Amsterdam. We're gonna go out now. What are we gonna go and do now?
Go and get something to eat, Rob.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Look at me, perked up.
He's jumped up as well.
Julian just perked right up like.
Just a second, it was like this. I see him doing this, and so as soon as he got out, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to bed early." Oh, okay. We're gonna go get some food.
Taking a trip down to
The ferry.
We're gonna go into the town and we have a nice meal, I think, and then
actually we're actually an hour ahead here, so we better get our skates on. But listen,
I heard the brownies are good out there.
Oh, is it? I like brownies.
Which ones? The chocolate ones?
Brownies. Yeah, chocolate. You can get other flavors.
I know which flavors you're talking about. You know what I mean, right? Big up to Turkish. Big up to you guys as well. And don't forget, check out all of the content that we're doing over here at the moment. We're over here for the game, of course. We're going to be at the game tomorrow. We'll be speaking to fans. Turkish, you're in the studio tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, so catch Turkish in the studio as well for the watch along. But guys, somebody says they're the Bulldog Coffee Shop.
Yeah, that's a renowned one. That's a renowned one. Yeah, and it's nice in there.
Fancy a cappuccino?
I mean, is that what they sell? Coffee lattes? I know Lee loves a coffee. You love a coffee.
Yeah, I do. But I think that's the one we went to. We
Icy
missed
pollen.
about 2 days out of that.
Yeah, well, we might have a look at that. And just quickly,
What's the icy pollen?
I don't know what that is at all.
Banana
Icy
lady.
pollen. Aye, they don't know, people. They don't know.
I don't know what that is. What's icy pollen? Well, I'll have a look. We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look.
Ask around.
Banana bar. Actually, let me not talk. Listen,
Wait. Some of this stuff's going to get us in serious
before
trouble,
we
you know
get
that.
demonetized, just quickly as well. After the game, so not tomorrow, on Wednesday, we'll be live. Obviously, we're live every day at 7 p.m. But just want to put in a plug here. Me and Curtis will be,
Famous Bulldog
reviewing-
in the district.
reviewing this game. Famous, yeah, Bulldog. We like Bulldog.
Check out the ice bar. Didn't we go there last time?
Ice bar. I didn't know there's an ice bar here. We went to the.
By the
Bulldog
way,
bar
people,
last
it's
time,
Monday night, you know.
Yeah.
What's ice pollen? I need to Google. Let me Google.
I
that.
don't-
What is that?
I need to find out about this.
You don't Google icy pollen. You go to the desk and you say icy pollen, please. And then
Oh no!
Oh, right.
Okay, I thought it was a place.
you don't Google that.
I thought it was a place.
Trust you to know what it is. You know what I mean?
Don't Google that.
All right, guys.
There's some
People.
crazy comments coming in. Yeah, and there's some crazy.
Hit the like
comments.
button. Make sure you subscribe. Love for the love as always. And yeah, we'll be back soon, people. Peace. All right.
Your exclusive chance to win 2 VIP hospitality tickets to Arsenal versus Chelsea worth over £1,500 is finally here.
AFTV is teaming up with Reporte, the marketplace for luxury raffles, to give one lucky winner these tickets.
We're talking free food, drinks, great seats, and a day at the Emirates that you'll never forget.
And with only 250 tickets available, your chances of winning are seriously high. Plus, guys, a percentage of every ticket sold goes to a charity to help fight childhood cancer.
It's completely transparent and the checkout is easy. It takes less than 1 minute and you can even use Apple Pay.
So hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to enter a raffle with Reforte.
The competition is UK only and the winner will be announced live on YouTube and Instagram, so grab your tickets right now.
Good luck!